Hey Centre family, welcome back to our online service. It is so good to have you tuned in with us once again. So next week is the first time we're going to be opening the centre doors to the public and to you guys. Everybody's welcome, although we are numbered, obviously limited to numbers due to social distancing, which John's going to explain a little bit in a minute in his talk. But yes, so first time since March, a long time. So a big day next week for you guys that want to come and join us in person and fellowship with us, which is long awaited. For those that don't like to do online or Zoom, please do get in touch. We'll leave all the details after the videos and the talk that John has today. I also want to thank those who came last week to our prayer walk at St Catherine's in Little London. It was so lovely to see you, and some really good moments of reflecting on God and what he means to us, and just about what's happening over these last few months and in this crazy time. So for me personally, thank you John for sorting that out, and I guess I speak for quite a few others that turned up too. It was really good. So hopefully we might get a few more in if the weather permits before the winter sets in, the cold nights. But anyway, let me take you over to John for his talk. It's all about giving and about God given to us, and you know, how he first gave to us. But John explains it a lot better than me. So let's take you over to John, and I'll see you back here in a minute.
Hi everyone, it's great to be talking to you at the centre. Many of you will know I'm actually on holiday when you hear this, so this is obviously a recorded message, but it's great to be able to say hello and just to give a few things I want to mention. And the great news is next week we will be at the community centre. You need to book in and all of that. Joe will be giving more information about that later. But this is wonderful news that we're actually going to be able, at least some of us, because there's limited numbers, to meet physically again and to be together and worship God and learn about him. So I'm really looking forward to next week when we can be together. A lot of work's going to go into it to make sure it's safe for everyone to come back. There'll be hand cleansing and roots and social distancing and all the things that are needed to make sure it's safe for everyone to come. Way back before lockdown, we'd also been thinking about the community centre. And one of the great pieces of news is that they've been really generous with us, both with the youth before St Mary's Little School went to the community centre and then afterwards, and they haven't asked us to pay anything. And we thought that we'd actually say something about this, and then lockdown happened and we couldn't meet, so we shelved it. But now's a good opportunity to talk a little bit about that. The truth is we need to give something towards the community centre, and it'll be good to have some kind of collection, which I'll talk about in a moment. But of course, that is not the Christian way, that we have a whip round so that we can actually pay what we need to pay. We do need to pay what we need to pay, but actually the Christian way is all about understanding what God has given to us, how rich we are in him, and how actually out of the generosity of our hearts, not because we have to, we give back to what is right and good. In a moment, Joe's going to show a video by Rob Bell. It's a bit American-centred, but I think everything said in that is directly transferable to Britain, and the general spiritual lessons are universal. They're there for all time anyway. So I recommend you listen to this video and see what Rob is having to say there. But for us, how do we give? What do we do? And one of the things is perhaps towards helping to pay the community centre for the facilities we use. And so there's a few things to do in terms of payment. There's practical things. Any cheques or standing orders are made to Stand PCC and marked for the centre, or just given to Caroline and she will make sure they're put in the books. We have a great system. It can be gift aided, and I just appeal to you to do that. But far, far, far more important is that we know Jesus so well, and we recognise how much he's given to us, that we want to give back in some way to whatever needs there are out there. Church things, of course, but other charities and other things, because we are grateful. We are rich in Him, rich in possessions. Even the poorest of us are richer than most people around the world. We always give proportionately to what we can give. We give as God gives us. There's no limit. We can give everything, we can give a little. We give as the Holy Spirit prompts. So that's just a little bit about giving. I hope you enjoy the video in a moment. But in the meantime, I'll see you next week. And I know many of you I will see face to face, and anyone else they'll be live streaming so you can see what's going on in the centre. God bless. Look forward to seeing you.
Thanks, John. Yes, let me take you over to Rob Bell. I think what this video is really good at getting across is the principle. Yes, it is kind of based a lot in America, but the principle behind it is kind of what I feel is how Christians should view what we think is rich, how we see wealth. You know, in a society we're brought up that our status matters, what car we drive, how we dress, what size house we've got, do we have a good job that pays a lot of money. It's searching for that money to make ourselves worth something. But Rob Bell really puts it into perspective for us and really shows us how a Christian should view what it means to be rich. So let me take you over to Rob, and I'll see you back in a minute.
I keep seeing this bumper sticker that's popular where I live. It says, "God bless America." Every time I see one, I think, God has. God has blessed America. America's around 6% of the world's population, and we consume over 40% of its resources. The point isn't, how can God bless America more? The point is, how can America bless others? In the Bible, when God blesses somebody, when God gives to them, it's so that they'll bless and give to others. There's this verse in the Bible in a letter called 1 Timothy, and it says, "Command those who are rich in this present world not to be arrogant or to put their hope in wealth." Now, I always assumed this verse was for somebody else. I mean, specifically somebody rich, but I have a car. 8% of the people in the world have a car. 92% of people in the world would see you and I driving in our cars. And I don't care what kind of car you have. 92% of the people in the world would see us driving in our cars and they'd think, rich. Do you have access to clean drinking water? Because somewhere around 1 billion people in the world don't even have clean water. And so you and I, we go to the sink, we take out a glass, we get something to drink. That hundreds of millions of people in the world would watch us doing that. And they'd probably say to themselves, man, it must be nice. Have you eaten today? Because somewhere around 800 million people won't eat today. 300 million of them are kids. Every couple seconds, somebody dies from hunger. How much change do you have on you? Your wallet or your purse. How much money do you have on you right now? Around 1 billion people in the world live on less than $1 $1 a day. Experts say that in order to provide like water, basic health, and nutrition for everyone in the world, they say the estimates that it would cost somewhere around $20 billion, which is how much Americans spend in 1 year on ice cream. We are so rich. But maybe you have this sense, like you look around and you have this sense like you don't have that much because you see people who have even more. But it's a dangerous thing when we start to think that our world is the world. I mean, we're like bombarded with all these images of the newest models and the latest styles, and after a while, our stuff, it starts to seem kind of average or outdated or not good enough. But for the rest of the world, our life is the commercial. Our stuff is the catalog. We're the picture in the advertisement. What isn't good enough for us, for the rest of the world, would be more than enough. So the verse in 1 Timothy, it says, command those who are rich not to put their hope in wealth. And then it goes on, it continues, and it says, but to put their hope in God, who richly provides us with everything for our enjoyment. That phrase, the God who richly provides us with everything. All that we have is a gift. Food, it's a gift. Clothes, gift. Roof, gift. That breath that you just took, it's a gift. Now there are some who say, no, you don't understand. I've worked for what I have. I deserve it. It's mine. But like it says in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 8, it says, you may say to yourself, my power and the strength of my hands have produced this wealth for me. But remember the Lord your God, because it's God who gives you the ability to produce wealth. So there's nothing wrong with wealth and possessions in themselves. I mean, God never condemns people simply for having things. I mean, they're gifts from God. It's just that God made us for so much more than just enjoying our stuff. God gives for a reason. And so the command begins to those who are rich. And it says, don't put your hope in wealth, put your hope in God. Then it continues and it says, command them to do good, to be rich in good deeds, and to be generous and willing to share. And when the writer uses the phrase good deeds, he's referring to this ancient Hebrew concept called the mitzvot. The word mitzvot is actually in Hebrew language, it's the word commands. So the ancient rabbis taught that when we do the commands of God, when we do good deeds, we're helping to repair and restore the world. So the first Christians, they picked up on this, like in a letter called Ephesians. One of them wrote that we're saved by the grace of God through faith in Christ in order to do mitzvot, in order to do good deeds. We're saved to do good works. And so we're commanded to do mitzvot and to be generous and willing to share. And then the verse wraps up this way. It says, in this way, and this way is the rich, that's us, becoming generous and willing to share. It says, in this way, they lay up treasure for themselves as a firm foundation for the coming age. And in doing this, they take hold of the life that is truly life. Now, when some hear the phrase laying up treasures, they start to think of like money and wealth and mansions, but Jesus never even used the word mansion. I mean, nowhere in his teaching is it about, or is the point, getting more stuff. It's not the goal here on earth, and it's not the goal someday in heaven. For Jesus, it's about being content. It's about taking hold of the life that is truly life. It's about realizing that the kinds of people we're becoming matters. It has eternal implications. It's about our future. It's about our forever. Now, if you're like me at this point, you're kind of looking for the pitch, Okay, just tell me where I'm supposed to give money or who I'm supposed to give money to, and then I'll give the money and then I'll be off the hook. But this is about something much, much bigger than just giving to the latest cause. This isn't some transaction, where we write a check or we put some cash in an envelope and then we're off the hook. This is about how we view the world and how we view our stuff. This is about what you and I truly believe about what we have. I mean, do I really believe that everything I have is a gift and that I have this divine responsibility to give, to share, to spread it around? Do I really believe that the way we're commanded to live is the best possible way to live? Let's be honest. It's easy to go to a church service, and it's easy to read the Bible, and it's easy to discuss who believes what and who's right and who's wrong. It's easy. But when Jesus talks about his followers, he talks about people who are generous, people who clothe the naked and take food to the hungry, take water to the thirsty, and people who visit the prisoner, and people who invite the stranger in, people who give their time, people who give their energy, people who give their money. Jesus said the way is narrow. And he even said it's difficult for the rich to enter the way of God. Putting others first, that isn't so easy. Jesus said he came to serve, and serving takes sacrifice. It costs. It's hard to ask difficult questions about how we spend our money and what we spend our money on. I mean, you and I are told every day in 1,000 ways that we need bigger, better, and more, and that what we have, it isn't good enough. We're told buy this, consume that, get this, and then we'll be happy. Do you sometimes feel like you're on a treadmill and you're working harder and harder and harder and more and spending more, and you're more and more stressed and less content? The best question isn't, what can I get? To take the way of Jesus seriously is to realize that the best question is, what can I give? Because all of us can give something here, now, today, and then tomorrow, and then the next day. What can you do to be more generous? What is the next step for you? You have been blessed. What can you give? Who are you going to bless? So may you come to see that you're rich, and that your possessions, they're luxuries that most of the people in the world don't have. And may you do what Jesus says. May you step in to your divine responsibility to give. And when you do, may you take hold of the life that is truly life.
Great stuff. Love the way he worded all of that. It really puts everything in perspective, doesn't it? What are you watching us today on your smartphone or your computer or through to your TV with electricity? Those things that we really take for granted. Real eye-opener. Thanks. I hope it really spoke to me. I hope it did you guys too. Also, I just want to touch base on what John said in his talk about giving to the church. Please do get in contact if this is something you feel God has placed on your heart and you would really love to partner with us in it. There is no pressure, but you can WhatsApp us, Facebook us, email us through the United Benefits website. There's me, David, John, Tracy, Caroline, Marion. one of us will be able to help you get started with that. So great stuff. Next week, first time back on the 6th from 4:30 or 4 o'clock, I think, to register. Please do phone and book. You can book through the Facebook site. Please do contact David. I will put his number on this post, and we'll send it out to everybody as well via the WhatsApp. So you must phone David at the centre to book your place. We are limited with numbers, so please don't just turn up. Just in case, please do phone first. Brilliant. Well, we hope to see many faces, as many as we can, next week to fellowship in person. It's been a long time waiting. I can't wait to see all of you guys. So yes, Zoom is still running from 5 today. John and Tracy will be heading that up. Me and John are away. I'm off to Devon to spend time for my Jack's birthday, so I just wanted to say a massive happy birthday to you, Jack, from all of us and your family at the centre. But anyway, have a blessed week, and we'll see you next week, hopefully. Take care and God bless.